Very happy morning, beautiful morning, dear students, dear CSS candidates, my dear students. It's a very fresh morning and greeting from my side to you all. I would like to start my lecture today straight away. Two compulsory important things for the CSS examination. Yes, dear candidates, it's very important to share with you the essay, English essay, almost 3 hours activity, the writing, expression, the intellectual depth, and your technique. Along with technique, your, you see, analytical and critical depth, that is assessed by the examiners, the English essay. And the second option and the second part of my talk today is to explain and to give you formula how to get maximum marks in your passy writing and comprehension. How to attempt your that paper. Compulsory English papers in CSS exam are not merely language papers. They are papers of intellectual discipline, analytical maturity, clarity of thought, and expression, English expression under pressure. Mind you, dear students, dear candidates, many students, even the brilliant students, they fail. And they fail because they underestimate the technical demands of English essay writing or English paper or the Precis and composition papers, and the casualty is there. CSS toppers generally share three common qualities. Remember, these are the prerequisites for the outstanding students, the brilliant student, these topper students, the topper competitors in the CSS exams, because these are the three things that they have to ensure and they have to evaluate whether they possess or they are in possession of these three qualities or not. First is clarity of thinking. Then is the consistency of practice, simplicity. And last but not the least is the precision in expression. That you are so precise, concise, to the point, relevant to the topic. What is being asked there in the essay title or the essay topic, you have to understand. Because Federal Public Service Commission examiner does not search for ornamental English alone. He is an experienced examiner and he is interested and he searches for, number one, logical organization, maturity of arguments, and grammatical accuracy, relevance, above all, the disciplined writings. Systematically well disciplined, well constructed, well formulated, using all grammatical rules that you are logically dwelling on your idea after idea, paragraph after paragraph, page after page, as per the required length, as per the requirement, may be 2 hours or 3 hours, complete essay to be written by you is to cover very important things that today in this lecture, in this video, in this interaction with you, I am going to share with you. First is the nature of essay paper. The compulsory paper essay in CSS, you have to understand the nature, that what is all about and what is more important there in the paper or behind your written lines. What is to be picked up? What is there that the examiner is eagerly just on the lookout whether the student has used and made a little upper edge over the others, competitors or not? And the essay paper, which revolves around, that is number one, we all know, knowledge. Then is the argument. And number three is coherence. Excuse me. Number four is structure and written communication, that you put across your point of view. Knowledgeable, argumentative, coherent, structural, and communicating, putting across your point of view to the examiner because it is in written shape. And how you have to ensure these important essay, because you are being tested, your essay is being tested in these 5 areas. It is not a newspaper article, mind you. It's an essay, and that too compulsory paper there in the CSS examination. It's not a newspaper article. It is neither newspaper article or emotional speech or poetic narration, that a poet is poetically reading out or writing or composed poems or verses or the sonnets or the poetic lines are to be written to create the symphonic or the poetic symphonic beauty in that. That is not required. Not a paper article, not an emotional speech, not a poetic narration. It's an organized intellectual discussion. True that under the topic, behind the lines, what all you are discussing point by point, point after point, paragraph after paragraph, heading after heading, subheading after subheading, whatever is there that you are, in fact you are there somehow, escorted by intellectual discussions. Your paragraphs, your written lines, your ideas, your structures, your grammatical structures, your English, your written expression, everything that is in a written shape, it is there. It is just a small little intellectual, well-organized, intellectually filled in ideas, and it is an intellectual discussion which is presented to the examiner in a written shape. Toppers, what do? All those toppers, the top, supreme, the excellence of English writing, English expressions once securing maximum marks from the examiner. What is the secret? What is the tip? What is the secret? What is the hidden message? What is the real, technique along with the toppers that they get maximum marks? Yes, dear students, first of all, these are the few things that I am going to share with you. If you want to get, if you want to follow, if you want to adhere to certain do's, that all the toppers till date, all the toppers they have been adhering to. Number one, You have to understand the topic correctly. Most failures are those who do not or fail to get maximum marks in their essay paper, because essay paper or the Precis writing or the current affairs or Pakistan affairs, this all revolves around competitive testimony, the tug of war. What maximum is to be taken by you from others? On your right side, on your left side, ahead of you, behind you, all the competitors, they are competing with you and you are competing with them. So you have to get maximum marks. The first rule, understand the topic correctly, because most failures that is because of, or that occurs because of, candidates misunderstanding the topic, misunderstanding the topic, misinterpreting the topic, misconception the topic. They do not understand the real question behind the lines, or behind the topic, or behind the verdict, or behind that compound or one word topic that is there. What? Perfectly all right that you can, but it's a statement, or it's a proposition, or maybe interrogatively ask some proposition that you have to debatably you have to come out with your pro and for the propositions and against the propositions, and then come out with your neutral opinion to support the topic. For example, democracy is a culture rather than a process. Now you see, this is not the history of democracy. This is neither history of democracy, nor merits, demerits only, or Pakistan's politics alone. You see, that is just only beating about the bush. You are writing your essay on democracy. Democracy is a culture rather than a process. Now you see, democracy, culture, not process. You see, that is the real worth. That is the culture of democracy. You have to confine to these two words. So history of democracy only? No. Merits, demerits of democracy only? No. And the Pakistan's politics alone? No. Not acceptable by the examiner. Or rather, the same topic, democracy is the culture rather than process. Inverted commas close, and you have to write your compulsory essay in competitive exam of Central Superior Services of Pakistan. And what you have to discuss? Democratic values. Then civic behavior, the civic and civilized awareness, the civic sense, the civic behavior, conduct, psychologically, temperamentally, educationally, academically, culturally. You are in fact sailing in the same boat, where ultimate the destination of the voyage of that boat is to reach of that boat, and the boat is carrying all of you. Teachers are there in the boat, parents are there in the boat, other companions are there in the boat, businessmen are there in the boat, and you are escorted by well-disciplined, well-educated, well-culturally, very richly nourished and groomed, trained, brought up people. And those people are to be, you see, talked about. And they have to identify themselves that they are democratic. bunch of people, group of people. So democratic values, civic behavior, institutional maturity, and then political tolerance among the parties. Tug of war is not there. And the societal mindset, that's important. So you are supposed to focus on these important points. And then very, very important is the outline, the skeletal. Very, very, very important. You see, the index of face is the index of mind. Quotable quote is there. So outline is the index of your essay. Outline is half the essay that you achieve if your outline is relevant. That you are going to cover this. Introduction, main body, conclusion. A strong outline shows, because examiner is interested in your outline, and this your outline, because you are going to be topper, then CSS compulsory essay pattern, or the essay which is liked, which is recommended, and which is to get maximum marks from examiner, that revolves around three things. Direction, strong outline. Direction, then is the organization, and then is intellectual control. That you are, in fact, intellectually, academically, and very, very important things that you are, your intellect is there, and the linkages of intellectual connectivity is there, that you are coming out with the genuine, likely, what I most of the time I very frequently quote, cognitive outcome of your thinking, of your creating, of your creativity, of your pondering over, of your coming out from your thought processes. So direction, organization, and then intellectual control. Ideal outline must have 6 things, very, very important. Introduction, background, main arguments, counter arguments, critical analysis, then solutions and recommendations. Finally, the conclusions that you have to proffer to the examiner, because what all you have talked about under the subheadings of introduction, background, main arguments, counter arguments, critical analysis, solutions, recommendations, under these headings, paragraphical headings, what you have to, you see, just 1 or 2 sentences for each paragraph, 1 or 2 sentences or 3 sentences for each paragraph, and concluding your essay. But quickly I would like to give you a very, very important thing. A dictum, a saying, 4 words, important, 4 words, piece of advice. Weak outline, weak essay. Very simple. Weak outline, weak essay, strong outline, strong essay, impressive outline, impressive essay, convincing outlines, convincing essay, relevant outlines, relevant essay, logically developed outlines, logically developed essay. I mean, half of the essay is over with you. You are getting maximum marks. Because first thing is introduction. Yes, dear audience, it's very important to note and make it a rule. Introduction is very important. Face is the index of mind, as I already told you. So introduction is the opening paragraph. It is the first impression. First impression is to give or to establish first impact, your mere opinion, the arresting opinion about your essay, about your coming paragraphs or written paragraphs or whatever the written lines after introduction that is to come. The first impression, the first impact, the first message, the first that impact given to examiner is that it's very, very good essay. So introduction should define topic, explain scope, and present thesis statement. Thesis statement, and at the same time with these three things, you have to define topic, you have to explain scope, and then you have to present thesis statement, and along with this you have to avoid dictionary openings, unnecessary quotations, childish generalizations, and a mature opening creates examiner confidence immediately after examiner starts reading and assessing and examining and awarding marks to you. First is you have to be mindful of unity of paragraph. Unity, maintain unity and relevance, that is important. Wholesomeness, unity of paragraph, unity of write-up, that everything, previous idea, previous sentence is connected with these succeeding sentences. Every paragraph must support the main thesis. You should not wander emotionally. You should not beat about the bush. You should not go here and there. You must not use verbosity. You have to confine to the main topic, and then you should not insert irrelevant facts, unrelated facts. You should not write memorized material forcefully, imposing your impact, artificial impact giving structure or the expression. Examiner instantly detects prepared essays. He will come to know that you are just imitating or you have already memorized and you are reproducing the same somebody else's essay, because there is no analytical, critical, intellectual, creative, genuine piece of writing from you. How to secure more marks? Analytical writing scores more than descriptive writing. Description is true, that is there that you are describing. But analyzingly, critically, you once intellectually, creatively, you go on discussing something which is to attract a new way of and a new technique and genuine technique, that it is in fact your own self is there behind the lines, talking to the examiner and discussing with the examiner. Your mind is in line with the mind of the examiner. So we candidates, what they do, for example, the topic is climate change is dangerous. Sentence is there. Climate change is dangerous. Climate change is dangerous. And the strong candidate, he will not write such sentence, such words. What he will do, he will write climate change is accelerating geopolitical instability through food insecurity, migration, pressures, and economic disruption. Inverted commas closed. Now you see, climate change is dangerous. That's all. Finished. A weak candidate. A weak paraphrasing. But you see here, the strong, competitively getting more marks, likely to get much more marks from you, from other candidate. Climate change is dangerous. The one who has written this sentence. Whereas the sentence like this, climate change is accelerating geopolitical instability through food insecurity, migration, pressures, and economic disruption. Now you see, right in the start, you are going to capture the attention of your examiner, and examiner is to read eagerly, curiously. The curiosity that you have touched and you have mobilized, the curiosity of the examiner to be with you and enjoy also. So CSS rewards analysis, not narration. And then, very important, use simple but mature English. Because toppers, they always avoid difficult vocabulary for show, for moonshine, for just establishing impression. Because toppers, they know that they have to get away and they have to keep themselves away from over decoration. They have to keep themselves away from artificial language. Good English means, excellent English means, CSS competitive English means, CSS compulsory paper essay English style means that you are, clarity is there in your expression. Fluency is there in your expression. And then precision, exactly, precise, concise, to the point, that is very much traceable there. Precision is there. That is very important, dear students, very important. It's my frequent advice to all the competitors, even there at Pakistan Military Academy Kakul and there at Command and Staff College Quetta, because of it is the expression, it is the leadership styles, it is the leadership verbal and written expression, or spoken and written expressions, both they in fact create more impact to enhance, to increase your bravery, to increase your courage, to increase your boldness, to increase your chivalry, to increase your element of conquest, victory, that valiance of your temperament that is supported by your ideas, by your thinking. So each paragraphically you have to be very coherent, connecting with the previous idea, previous para, and the previous para connecting with the succeeding paras, and you are there connecting as a whole with the topic, and the one central idea is there of your paragraph. Then is the explanation, then is evidence example, then mini conclusion of the each paragraph that you have to give. Ideal paragraph length, it's advisable that minimum 8 lines and maximum 12 lines. It's, you see, a beautiful length of the paragraph, a beautiful length of the paragraph, a beautiful, you see, neither smaller nor bigger. It should be somewhere between 8 lines and 12 lines. Ideal length, ideal body of your paragraph. And it is also advisable that it is 8 to 10 words in each line. Ideal line of your written line, ideal length must have 8 to 10 words in each line written by you, and then 8 to 12 lines paragraph, ideal length of your paragraph, because you have to use only authentic information, authentic references, authentic idea, and then you have to be brief, you have to be relevant, you have to be even the quoted words, the maxims, the quotable quote, the sayings, the ideas to be reflected by you there in the paragraph, but the quotable within the inverted commas, they must be a relevant one. One powerful quotation is better than the 10 irrelevant ones. Maybe 100 or maybe 10, 8, 9 irrelevant quotable quotes you quote in the paragraph, in the lines, in the essay, but one is much, much better than the 10 irrelevant. One relevant quote is much, much better than the 10 or 9 irrelevant quotes. Balanced arguments wins marks. Very, very balanced argument. Because CSS examiners, they prefer and they are interested in moderation, objectivity, critical balance. I repeat, dear students, for you. Yes, the three important things they are interested in. The paper checker, the paper examiners, they are just reading your written lines. They are reading the paragraph with their red pencil, red pen, ball pen, and may be encircled, crosses, underlined, side notes in red ink. God forbid, if there are, then the negative marking is also there to deduct your marks. So the examiners in CSS exams, and especially the essay papers, they prefer that the candidates, they are moderate. Paragraphs are moderate. Objectively it is written. Objectivity is there, not subjectivity. Critical balance is there. Analysis is there. The thesis style is there. The intellectual and genuine cognitive, creative style is there by the students, because student can have moderation behind the lines, can have objectivity behind the lines, can have critical balance if the CSS students, if the CSS competitors, they keep in mind these things. That examiners, they don't lie, they don't like. The students must avoid extreme ideological tone, extremistically, the extreme point of view, opinion that is not encouraged there in CSS examiners. Emotional propaganda, that is also not accepted by the CSS examiners. Conspiracy obsessions, not acceptable. You should avoid. Strong conclusion is the essential part of your essay. You have to summarize logically, convincingly. You have to summarize concisely. You have to summarize precisely. You have to, once again, just referentially, or you have to just giving a little reference of the earlier discussed, all the paragraphs there in the concluding paragraph of your essay. So summarize logically, reinforce thesis, provide mature ending, and never end abruptly. You must not abruptly conclude your paragraphs, your essay. Common essay mistakes, very, very important. Dear students, remember these words. The Colonel's CSS Academy never advises its students, its competitors, its English students who have to improve their written expression. We do not recommend. Rather, we advise them to abide by certain don'ts. What are those certain don'ts? Misunderstanding the topic in CSS, it's a crime. It's an educational crime. It's a literary crime. It's a academic offense. It's criminally committed blunder if you do not understand the topic. Then second thing is a weak outline. Then is the irrelevant material. Then is the poor grammar. Then is repetition. Then is emotional writing, lack of analysis, no thesis statement, weak conclusion, overuse of quotations, and daily practice of toppers. If you come to know and I share with you, you will definitely adhere to this. And if you adhere to this, you will get almost 90 to 95% marks in your English essay. What are those? Read quality English newspapers editorials daily. Write one outline daily. Write one introduction daily. Carry out practice one body paragraph daily. Do learn vocabulary contextually. Contextually, what is in which context the word is used. Synonymously, and then antonyms using the thematic meaning. Contextually, you must write, you must learn vocabulary contextually, and read international affairs regularly. What happened yesterday is likely to happen again, but with certain changes, with certain surprises. Yesterday's news item regarding any regional affair or international affair or anything which is happening, and may be a test match yesterday played between two rivals, India and Pakistan, and the second inning on second day, that may be with full surprises. You must know. So that's all as far as English essay is concerned. You may ask any questions in the comments box, and I request you to be with me. And you know, you are the toppers. You are surely going to get maximum marks. My prediction to you, my congratulations to you. If you gird up, if you tighten up, if you roll off your sleeves, if you roll off your sleeves today, tomorrow, this is the month. You have to prepare as per the schedule I have already given. Weekly schedules, daily, hourly schedule that I have already, calendar I have already given, programming that I have already done of your time distribution. Essay writing is over. Now, very important, dear students, very quickly I want to cover Precis and composition. Nature of Precis papers, this paper tests comprehension, grammar, vocabulary, sentence structure, and concise expression. Precis writing. Precis is a paper of discipline and accuracy. Mind you, you are competing with your comrades. Your companions are your competitors. They want to snatch marks from you. They want to go, or they want to step ahead of you. So toppers' Precis rules are: number 1, read passage 3 times. Very, very important that you have to read the Precis essay or the passage. That passage which is given to you, you have to read 3 times. First reading, a general understanding that you generally, what do you understand? Generally, first reading. Second reading, you have to identify central ideas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 central ideas, or maybe just 2 ideas, or maybe 1 idea there in the first paragraph. because there are maybe 5 paragraphs, 7 paragraphs on which you have to write your Precis. Then mark, third reading, mark important points out of already identified central idea. Then is the general understanding, and the third reading you mark the important points, and then you the 3 readings are over. Now quickly you have to identify central theme. Precis, not shortening sentences mechanically. Capturing the soul of the passage briefly, that is very objective and the aim of Precis writing. That after giving 3 readings, you have to capture the soul of the passage, the soul of the paragraph. Behind the lines, everything, every title, every soul is there. What is the soul? That is the integratively, participatively, one idea is just spreading over all the written lines of all the paragraphs, and the whole passage is just circling or talking around or revolving around one theme that you must reach. Now you have to write your own Precis. Use your own words, because copying lines, written lines directly loses marks. Good Precis. What are the important points of good Precis? Rewrites intelligently, compresses meaningly, preserves tone, because good Precis always good Precis has 3 important things. You rewrite intelligently, compresses meaning, preserves tone. Then is a international rule of Precis writing that maybe 7 paragraphs, maybe 5 paragraphs, maybe 4 paragraphs. Usually Precis should be approximately 1/3 of the original passage. Of the original passage, the complete passage, it should be the 1/3. Concise, lessons curtailed, made short to the 1/3 of the total size of the passage your Precis would be. Maybe the word count discipline is also essential, that you quickly just maybe 10 lines in each, 10 words in each line, coupled by 10 words in each line, maybe 200 lines or maybe 150 lines, multiplied by 10 words, 150 words, and your 1/3 would be approximately, there are 50 to 60 words, or maybe 45 to 55 words total size of the written Precis that must be there. And the title must reflect central idea, because the weak title that you come out with is not appealing to the examiner's mind. So, for example, the Precis on education, or on education is a power, knowledge is power, purpose of education. Now this is the thematic title likely to be quenched, likely to be curtailed, likely to be summed up. The passage is there, but you see, you give the title education with an inverted commas, weak title. It's not just one word or the compound word, no. It should be a paraphrasing of the whole passage as a title that you have to give. Education as an instrument of social reform. Now you see, a complete, with an inverted commas, a title that you can give. Then you have to you have to maintain logical flow. Precis must feel like one smooth paragraph. You have to avoid disconnected ideas. You have to avoid bullet style. You have to avoid abrupt transitions. Why? Because it's a Precis. and toppers, they do not commit such mistakes. Comprehension topping rules, that you questions are there, short questions are there, and after the Precis, then the comprehension that you have to carry out, giving answers to those short questions. So you have to answer exactly what is asked. Do not rewrite whole paragraph. Rather, precisely answers the question directly asked. Answers should have direct relevance, and you have to be very pithy, concise, and to the point. Then simple English, very, very important. Comprehension tests understanding, not decorations. Answer in your own language. Why? Because paraphrase intelligently, paraphrase with creative and your own wording, simple words. Avoid lengthy answers. Concise, mature answers score better marks, good marks, maximum marks. Grammar and sentence correction tips, very, very important, because language, grammar, and all these things are very important, because most of the toppers getting, or they have already grabbed maximum marks. Why? Their written Precis and the comprehensions. Toppers had been focused, and you have to be focused on the same very set of requirements. I one by one just read out to you people. Tenses. You have to be focused on that don't mistake any blunders or any errors. The construction of tenses and all that, you must, while converting the sentence from direct form, direct to indirect form, while converting active voice to passive voice, while using punctuation mark, so written that the tenses are correct. Subject verb agreement is to be taken care of. Then is articles, then prepositions, then active passive voice. I have already told. Direct and indirect narration, you must be mindful of this, and you have to be very, very correct. You have to be correct in your structure of sentences. And then very, very important, all the four conditional sentences, once this is to convert into first kind of conditional, second kind of conditional, third kind of conditional, fourth kind of conditional, whatever is the conditional, accordingly you have to do certain changes. You have to bring in certain changes, and conditional sentence is structurally complete and correct in its requirement. Then very, very important, punctuation marks. So students, the written English is very, very important, because spoken English is not required over there. It is the written English, and in written English, the colons, semicolons, commas, and then inverted commas, brackets, and then dashes, hyphens, and then question marks, and then interrogative signs, and then you see exclamatory signs, how the sentences are broken. This all that you have to include in your punctuation or punctuation marks or symbols, everything is to be taken care of once the written lines are there. And then clarity under pressure. You see, examiners, they don't like emotional exaggeration, irrelevant philosophy, memorized material, artificial vocabulary. Golden formula of CSS English success, it's in few words. If you ask me to give you, would see maybe 5 words, very simple words, 5 words. The first is read, think, outline, write, and revise. Very simple. Without reading, no ideas. Without analysis, Without reading, no ideas. Without thinking, no analysis. Without outlinings, no organizations. Without fluency, without writing, no accuracy, no fluency. Without revision, that you revise immediately after the write-up is finished, your expression is finished, then the revision is very important to be given to your write-up. So without revision, no improvement. So this is what the 5 words, a piece of advice given to you people. And the final advice to the CSS aspirants. Yes, dear students, your papers or the English paper are not impossible, because the theory requires intellectually you are mature enough. So intellectual maturity. And grammatically your writing is well equipped, or writing discipline. Then the punctuality, consistency, psychologically, physically, mentally, intellectually, cognitively, you are a disciplined like a soldier. So regular practice. And then is the bigger discipline, bigger pondering over the ultimate objective, and that is the strategic preparations. You are in the bigger perspective to be very well prepared to sit in the competitive examination. Consistency defeats talent when talent lacks discipline. The candidate who writes regularly for 6 months with correction and feedback can significantly improve performance irrespective of educational background. Academical, educational, intellectual, scholarly, you have to be very, very concerned about, because what rewards you, ultimately what rewards you, it is number 1, clarity over complexity. Number 2, logic over emotions. Number 3, discipline over brilliance alone. I now conclude my lecture on these 2 very important compulsory subjects, that is the essay, and the second is Precis writing and comprehension. God bless you. Thank you very much. I have already requested you to own me, to give me your comments, your likes, and subscription button you must press. Thank you very much. God bless you. Thank you very much. Take care. Assalamu alaikum.